Welcome to the Markets Happy Hour podcast, a weekly markets update for investors the world over. Each week we discuss inflation, geopolitics, interest rates, equity markets, and other asset classes. To try to answer the question, what does this mean for my investment portfolio? Let's dive in.
I've called today's podcast the New Year's New Nihilism, as this was a popular theme over the last few days. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal. There was a post on X. It had over 20 million views. It described essentially the generation that had been essentially now giving up on attaining a traditional path to wealth and was turning instead to gambling and essentially giving up on their dreams and trying to really bet it all on a very outsized dream. So this was something that was a reflection of perhaps the decline of the accessibility of the housing market, a rise in the affordability crisis, and of course, the incursion of AI, as well as the problem with social media and the constant comparisons. So this was a particularly deep and somewhat dark rabbit hole to be dragged into over the last few days. But it has, I think, been a perfect launch pad for what we are seeing as our philosophy for 2026, which is this going to be the year of enough? We had suggested this last week, that the year of enough in 2026 would be the time when consumers finally push back against the encroachment of AI. They suggest that maybe AI developments and improvements, enhancements in their life have reached a point that there has been satiation, or essentially the saturation point, and they don't need necessarily more efficiencies in some of the more human elements of their lives. There'll also be a pushback on the rising price of everything, particularly electricity, and we will see that, we believe, through pushbacks and policy changes and headwinds against the development of data centers. So that's all continuing of our theme for 2026 around the year of enough. But kicking off this week, as usual, we will discuss inflation, interest rates, equity markets, geopolitics, and other asset classes.